my name is Makomi Chan, and I'm here with Jez Roth. Jez, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Thank you so much for having me. My name is Jez Roth. I hail from the fabulous city of Las Vegas, where all is sparkly and super cheap. So, only for a good time. I am a cosplayer turned professional. I work as a designer. I've designed and worked for Cirque du Soleil, for many celebrities, celebrity DJs for the nightclubs, and actually on anime as a consultant on One Piece Gold. Everything that has to do with cosplay, I'm all about it.
That is fantastic, Jez, and your work experience is one of the things that makes you super unique in the cosplay community. So every cosplayer who's gone from hobbyist costumer to professional fabricator has a unique story how they made the shift. What's your story?
I underwent a sudden change. I was living in New Jersey and I was happily married, and abruptly I found myself divorced. And I said, you know what? Rather than just have this as an opportunity just to be miserable and feel sorry for myself, I'm gonna turn this around. So I up and took everything I owned and I went to Las Vegas and took a chance. And within 3 months of living in Las Vegas, I found myself building and designing the opera gowns at the Venetian Hotel and making outfits and tailoring them for the gondoliers as well. 6 months later, I was Cirque du Soleil. So I went from a rather unfortunate situation to living a dream gold mine, which was to work for Cirque du Soleil.
That is amazing. And a really wise decision on your part. I think that was really cool.
Thank you.
With the increasing college prices, how would you suggest aspiring professionals acquire the skills needed to work as a professional costumer with a theater production studio or like a film production studio?
When you're working in our industry, it's half and half actual legit college experience and experience that you're going to learn through other means. For example, through cosplay. You're going to learn very traditional, tried and true industry standard techniques as far as like costuming goes in terms of sewing and tailoring and pattern making and things like that. Outside of that though, you're going to learn to be inventive and do unconventional methods by working in things like cosplay, having to do like small time theater, and that will help bump up your ability to work with different materials. I will say this, even though a college degree is wonderful, you do not need a college degree in fashion, tailoring, or costuming to be successful. Does it help? Oh yeah, absolutely. Is it necessary? No. If you have the right personality, the drive, the skill set, you are unstoppable. Just make sure, the biggest issue that I see is make sure that you're at a location that can foster that, because regionally in the US, I hear from a lot of people, there's just no work for me. And I say, yes, if you're living in Podunk, USA, you're not going to find the work. But if you go to New York City or LA or places like Vegas or San Francisco, a metropolitan area that has the culture and the need for it, even Atlanta has a huge cosplay scene with a lot of theater, you'll persevere and eventually you will find a niche and you will get your foot in the door.
I think that's something that a lot of people kind of forget when they come up with these aspirations. Like they need to move to the area, especially for entertainment industry work. And I think a lot of dreams end up getting crushed because they don't make that move.
Yeah, don't settle for less. You deserve better.
For cosplayers aspiring to go pro, do you think branching out skill-wise or focusing on perfecting a small skill set would be better for a professional aspect, and why?
You definitely should play to your strengths, but be well-rounded. The best thing you can do if you're going to be like a competitor, I always say this, I think competition is a wonderful thing in competitions. In fact, that's how we met.
Yes.
You entered a competition that I was overseeing and running. Competition pushes you to try new techniques and new work. And I recommend, if you're going to promote yourself, yes, you should always hone your skill. For example, behind a sewing machine, that is my forte. I will wreck you. I love top stitching. I love doing all these intricate machine embroidery manually by hand, just manipulating the fabric on vinyl and different methods. But the judges are going to appreciate you more and people are going to love you more if not only do you have the sewing skills, but you're able to fabricate and use that beautiful warbler work. You're able to do beautiful leather work. So yes, you should be able to do one thing solidly, but don't be scared to dab in other types of things, because there's so many elements of costuming that are yet to be really educated on. We see some really good Warbler work, but locally you may say, who around here has like really good Warbler work? Who knows how to finish this properly and do dye work? Who knows how to build wigs? And that is a skill set that's highly marketable and highly usable.
That's very good. What is your favorite fabric to work with and why?
Pleather, hands down. I love cyberpunk. I love all things that have to do with like Tron. So pleather to me is like my favorite material because it's a little bit more manipulative. Like you're able to manipulate it more than leather, and leather is also very expensive. And leather work is an art form unto itself, but with the right needle and the right foot, a Teflon foot that is, you can absolutely glide and manipulate vinyl through piping and structure and top stitching and contrasting fabric to get a really neat look. All of my favorite original designs have all been cyberpunk stuff that's always black with another color. And I love it. You can get such cool body and shapes, and you can even get 3D shapes out of it that you normally can't get out of any type of fabric.
I didn't know you could get 3D shapes out of pleather.
Oh yeah.
That's interesting, but I've never worked with pleather, so.
It's cheap, it's pliable. Go buy 1,000 yards of it, you'll thank me.
One thing many artists struggle with when they start working professionally is balancing their business and personal projects. Do you have any balancing advice?
Don't forget to take at least a day for yourself every once in a while. It is possible to get burnt out with something no matter how much you love it. And I say this not so much for just the fact that you can hurt your clients and hurt your own health by overstressing yourself one point or another, because everything honestly hinges upon your ability to get work done, how much you show up on time, your ability to finish projects on time. But that said, for your own mental health, you don't want to get burnt out. And I know some people are like, oh, I got burnt out. I got burnt out. I took 3 years off of sewing and cosplaying because it's a very real thing. It causes you anxiety. It gets you stressed. You can always tell when your body's telling you, look, I need a break. I need to stop. When the moment that something stops becoming fun, especially when hobby becomes your livelihood, it changes the dynamic completely. You may think, yeah, I get to sew and make costumes all day, and yeah, that's great, but you may walk into your sewing studio and think, ugh, I have to finish project XYZ for this client. I'm not quite done with it. I would give anything to have an office job, and you don't want to get to that point.
I hit that point a few years ago, and it was quite an interesting life point. I got into esports, but...
Which is awesome.
Yeah, but now I'm trying to get back into it. I'm like, I can't sew like I used to.
You'll get it back, girl. You got the skills.
Hey, so is there anything else you'd like to say to the new generation of cosplayers?
Go enter a competition. Yeah, you may have like tons of followers and you may be like Instagram famous, but you really want to throw down, you really want to get some respect, go out into a competition and see how well you do in person, because competition is an amazing thing, and I highly, highly, highly support it because it forces you to have new skills and push yourself to be good on stage and develop a presence on stage. And these are all 3 skills that you're going to need when you move on to be a cosplay guest or a featured cosplayer or a cosplay judge. When you start moving up in the con scene, you're going to want to have that personality. You're going to want to be comfortable to be in front of a crowd or at least a small group of people. So enter a competition, don't take yourself too serious, and make yourself likable. You never know if that guy who's coming up and wanting to talk to you is a con chair or a guest liaison, and you want people to like you. So don't just look beautiful, be awesome and beautiful on the inside as well.
That was amazing advice.
Thank you.